They called him the new Elvis of country. But few knew just how close Drake Milligan came to vanishing from the spotlight altogether. Before he was dazzling national TV audiences with rhinestone swagger and original hits, Milligan was just another Southern kid chasing a dream that nearly got crushed by rejection, self-doubt, and a near-fatal accident on the open road. From pulling out of American Idol at the last minute to bouncing back on America's Got Talent, and later surviving a devastating van crash that threatened his future, Drake's path to stardom is anything but typical. His story isn't just about talent. It's about calculated risks, hard-won second chances, and what it really takes to stand out in the modern country music scene. Long before the lights of Nashville or the roar of America's Got Talent, Drake Milligan was just a wide-eyed kid growing up in Arlington, Texas. Born on June 1st, 1998, his early years were filled with the sounds of classic country. His father, a devoted fan of legends like Merle Haggard and George Jones, unknowingly planted the seeds of a lifelong passion. But it wasn't until Drake saw an Elvis impersonator performing live at a local restaurant that everything changed. That single moment hit him like a lightning bolt. He wasn't just watching a performance, he was witnessing his future. Soon after, Drake began impersonating Elvis himself, not as a gimmick, but as a full-bodied expression of the music and charisma he admired. His teenage years were spent honing that act, performing for small-town crowds, and learning to command the stage like the king himself. Most teenagers struggle to decide what they want to be. For Drake Milligan, the answer came in the form of a casting call. At just 17 years old, he landed the coveted role of young Elvis Presley in CMT's Sun Records, a dramatic series chronicling the birth of rock and roll. It wasn't just another acting gig. It was a full-circle moment for a kid who grew up idolizing the king. But the opportunity came with a major life shift. To take the role, Drake had to leave his home state of Texas and move to Nashville, Tennessee, right in the middle of his senior year of high school. The decision wasn't easy, but it marked the beginning of a much deeper transformation. This wasn't about pretending to be Elvis anymore. It was about becoming a serious artist. And Nashville, the beating heart of country music, was exactly where he needed to be. In 2018, Drake Milligan walked onto the set of American Idol with charm, talent, and a golden opportunity. But just as quickly as he arrived, he made a decision that stunned everyone. He backed out. At a moment when most aspiring artists would cling to any shred of national exposure, Drake walked away. His reasoning? He wasn't ready. "I decided that I wasn't quite ready for that platform yet," he later explained. "It would be a better step for me to move to Nashville and focus on my music first." In an industry obsessed with instant fame, it was a rare and calculated move. Drake chose growth over the spotlight, discipline over attention. And while it might have seemed like a mischance at the time, that quiet exit from American Idol would later become one of the smartest choices of his career. Drake Milligan knew Nashville wouldn't hand him success. He'd have to earn it. After relocating to the heart of country music, he took a bold step and auditioned for a record deal with BBR Music Group. The result? A flat-out rejection. For many artists, that could have been the end of the road. But Drake saw it as motivation. He doubled down on his writing, refining his sound, and just 6 months later, that same label came calling. This time, they wanted him. He signed with BBR and quickly got to work, releasing his debut self-titled EP in July 2021. Produced by legendary country producer Tony Brown, the EP introduced the world to a new kind of country star, one who respected tradition but had a sound all his own. That same year, he dropped a seasonal track, Cowgirl for Christmas, showing off his versatility and steady rise in the country scene. After years of refining his voice and sharpening his vision, Drake Milligan returned to national television, this time on his own terms. In 2022, he stepped onto the America's Got Talent stage with a swagger that didn't just suggest confidence, it demanded attention. Backed by his band, he performed an original track, Sounds Like Something I Do, a high-energy, feel-good anthem that brought the audience to their feet. The judges were unanimous, for yes, with Simon Cowell predicting stardom and Howie Mandel branding him the new Elvis of country. Drake didn't just compete, he dominated. Week after week, His performances resonated with viewers across the country. By the finale, he had built a loyal following and ultimately secured third place. But more importantly, he reintroduced himself to the world, not as a tribute act, but as a true country artist ready for the spotlight. Fresh off his America's Got Talent momentum, Drake Milligan wasted no time. In 2023, he released his debut album, Dallas-Fort Worth, a bold, double-sided project that showcased the two halves of his musical identity. One side leaned into honky-tonk energy. The other embraced heartfelt ballads and classic country storytelling. It wasn't just a debut, it was a statement. Milligan had range, and he wasn't afraid to show it. He collaborated with respected industry figures, including co-writing with R. Claus on Honky Tonkin' About, and his songwriting began to earn attention for its maturity and authenticity. Songs like I Got a Problem blended clever wordplay with radio-ready melodies, proving he could hang with the big names in Nashville. The album didn't just earn praise, it earned airplay, award buzz, and cemented Milligan as more than a reality show contestant. He was now a touring, chart-climbing country artist with staying power. With his career on the rise, Drake Milligan embraced the whirlwind. In 2023, he was everywhere, from sold-out venues across the country to a high-energy return to the AGT stage, performing his new single, I Got a Problem, during the Season 18 live results show. The performance was electric, earning praise from Simon Cowell, who declared, "You're going to be a real superstar." But just as everything seemed to be falling into place, tragedy struck. On April 17, 2023, Milligan and his band were involved in a serious van crash while traveling through Texas. A blown tire sent their vehicle careening into a concrete median. They were rushed to the hospital, treated for injuries, and thankfully survived. Within weeks, Milligan was back on the road, refusing to let the accident derail his momentum. It was a sobering reminder that even rising stars face sudden danger, and Drake had no intention of slowing down. As of 2024, Drake Milligan isn't just a name remembered from talent shows. He's a full-fledged country artist, headlining his own tour across the United States. From March to October, he's been hitting city after city, performing for thousands of fans who know every lyric by heart. His music blends the golden era of country with a modern polish that resonates across generations. He still draws comparisons to Elvis, and while he wears that crown proudly, Drake is carving a legacy that's uniquely his own. Influenced by icons like George Strait, Randy Travis, and Alan Jackson, he's remained loyal to Nashville, the place he calls unlike any other, not just for its history, but for its community of masterful songwriters. Whether on stage, in the studio, or recovering from a tour accident, Milligan stays grounded. He's not chasing trends. He's honoring tradition while moving country music forward. Drake Milligan's journey defies every expectation. He wasn't an overnight sensation. He was a slow burn, an artist who walked away from fame, got rejected, got back up, and earned every round of applause that came after. From impersonating Elvis in small-town Texas to creating hit records in Nashville, his story is one of reinvention and grit. He didn't just chase the spotlight, he built it himself. Now, with hit singles, national tours, and a growing fan base, the question isn't whether he'll be a star. That's already happening. The real question is how far he'll go. Will Drake Milligan become country music's next enduring legend? Or something even bigger? An icon shaped by the past, but destined to define the future? One thing's certain, this cowboy's just getting started.